Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining this information session. Yeah, we just look forward to, in the hour or so, just to share with you what the Impact Invest in Africa course is, some details around it coming up in September. And yeah, also we have Maluta who's joining us, who's alumni for the course, and he's also going to be sharing his experience about the course as well, to give you some insights about some of the value added during the course and what you can expect actually coming out of the course as well, and how it's going to impact your career and yeah, just the way that you view capital and impact as well. So to start off, I'm going to share a presentation and then I'll walk you through the agenda for the day as well. Okay, so for today, what we're going to do is I'll provide you with the overview of the course, giving you some key important information, including dates, the location, and then I'll also then move into the timetable as well to give you an overview of what to expect during the week. And then after that, I'm going to hand over to Taryn, who's going to walk you through the application process. So how do you actually apply for the course? What are the things you need to do and look out for when applying for the course? And then we'll hear from Maluta, which will be incredible. And then we'll open up for Q&A after that. So what is Impact Investing in Africa course? What is this course? So this course essentially is an in-person specialized short course, executive education program, which we run at the Graduate School of Business, and it's hosted by the Bertha Centre, and it's convened by myself, Shuluba, and Daniel. And the three of us convene the course, and we invite a whole lot of guest speakers as well to join and provide their own experience and expertise within the impact investing space. But essentially, impact investing in Africa is a course that looks to equip you as the attendees with knowledge and skills about how to invest resources to generate both positive social and environmental impact as well as financial return. With a big focus on trying to get you those skills and knowledge. And we as Bertha Centre are situated in quite a unique place where we are really a key ecosystem board within the impact investing space. So we constantly doing research and building knowledge and piloting new instruments within the impact investing space. And so a lot of that content within the course is feeded from what we are doing in terms of projects at Bertha Centre. It is the only impact investing course with the Africa focus on the continent, which is incredible. And with that in mind, this is actually the first year that we're actually taking the course to 2 locations in Africa. And so we are actually going to host a Kenya iteration of this course in November as well. But the first iteration will be the one which we are sharing about today, which is in Cape Town. And it will be at, like I said, the Graduate School of Business. And the course is also accredited by the University of Cape Town through their executive education program. So the course has been running for over 8 years, and we have over 400 alumni. And what's great is even after each cohort of the years, we have an alumni group on LinkedIn as well as WhatsApp, where there's constant engagement around impact investing, sharing of opportunities, sharing of interesting articles, and it's quite an active community. So once you complete the course, you're able to join that community as well, which is going to open up so many doors and just enrich your own experience and career going further. So what are some of the key details for the course? So it's happening from the 9th of September to the 13th of September. So it's quite soon, in a matter of 3 weeks or so. And it's basically, it runs over 5 days, and it starts from 9 in the morning and then it finishes at 5 in the evening now. And it will take place at the Graduate School of Business in Lecture Theatre 6. And yeah, that's just the address details. It's there by the waterfront. And in terms of pricing for the course, it's 18,375 Rand for the course. And I'll get to what this includes in the next few slides. but just generally it includes food, tea, and all that, so you won't go hungry during the course. Keep you energized for during the course as well, which is needed because it's really an action-packed course with a lot of content, yeah, a lot of networking and that, so it's really exciting. So the application deadline, so the deadline for applying for the course will be on Monday next week at 12 p.m., so midday. So please do, as soon as possible, try to get your applications in, just so you can secure your spots on the course. So what to expect, as I've mentioned previously, you can expect a comprehensive knowledge building program. So there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of action-packed work and engagement during the course. And we have speakers from different parts of the ecosystem are sharing as well. So you can learn from those people who are actually on the ground in the industry as well. And you get to also connect with like-minded professionals. So we get quite a diverse cohort of people joining the course. Most of them are from financial institutions such as asset managers, development banks, governments, but we also get consultants, those that are involved in impact measurements and management and in the environment. And so, yeah, it's really a great opportunity to network with people, find people with the same interests as you in terms of creating impact and allocating capital towards impact. So that is really enriching part of the course, is the people who you meet there. You learn about regional best practice, particularly looking at Africa, seeing what is needed on the African continent, what are some of the different financial tools and instruments that are being applied in the continent, and how do we then push the continent forward as well. We give you different tools as well, and you gain just valuable insights overall. So it's really an incredible program. As I mentioned throughout, you can look forward to a variety of quality speakers and us as conveners as well. We come with a diverse skill set and knowledge base, which I think really gives different perspectives to the course as well, which you're able to apply. So very much the diversity is the strength of the course in terms of who we get on the course as well. So what is included in the course? So you get 2 teas daily with some light snacks. At those times, you get one lunch, like a buffet lunch, really cool. And then also on the Wednesday, we have like a great food truck that comes in. And yeah, it's just an incredible time to just connect during those meal times. It's always great to sit around a meal, and that's a great way to connect with people. We also have opening and closing events. So we have a cocktail evening on the Monday, and then there will be snacks provided that evening, and it will be just a space for you to connect with your delegates for the week, with speakers, course conveners, and invited guests. And then on the Friday, we will have a closing ceremony with some light snacks and handing out of certificates as well, which is also a great way just to celebrate the week that we've had. So you'll get access to the course content. So you'll get access to the learning management system that we have at the Graduate School of Business, along with the slides. And then you also get access to a whole lot of other pre-reading materials and stuff, which the course conveners put up for you to further enrich your experience as well and get to know more. You get a certificate provided by UCT Executive Education to show that you have completed the course. And yeah, I think it's a very cool thing and a cool takeaway to have that certificate as an acknowledgement for the knowledge that you built up through the week. And they are incredible, endless memories, connections, and opportunities. And we've seen that with a lot of our alumni. So I would say quite a few of our alumni actually come back and work with Bertha Centre, work with each other. And so like there's really long-lasting connections and even friendships that are made at these courses. So it's definitely an incredible experience. So what is not included? So we do not cover the flights to get into Cape Town if you are coming from outside of Cape Town. We don't cover accommodation, but there is preferential rates available at the hotel that is located by the Graduate School of Business. If you're interested in that, feel free to email me or Taryn, and we can provide you with what those rates are. Transport to and from the venue waterfront. There's activities such as paddle, and you've got the aquarium there, many museums and that. So there's a lot of great ways to experience the city, but unfortunately that is not included in the package. But we do encourage the delegates that come through to go and experience that after hours in the evenings and do it together as well, as a way to build those relationships. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to share the timetable just to give you an overview of what the week looks like. Just give me a second. So in terms of what the week looks like and what you can expect, it covers really 5 broad themes. And yeah, the first day we're looking at impact investing landscape and the themes of impact. And this includes when you arrive to the class, we do an overview of the course and we do some class introductions because like we say, there's a lot of diverse people in the room and it's great to have those introductions and see who is going to be working with you throughout the week. And then we introduce some of the impact definitions and have a class discussion around impact investing, just to start off with, just so we know we're all on the same page and we have an understanding of the different terms within the space. We then go into discussing the landscape of impact investing. We do this by first looking at Africa, and then later in the afternoon, we're going to look at the global perspective. So we're actually going to get Dean Hand, who's the Chief Research Officer at the Global Impact Investing Network, who's going to come and share on the GINS reports as well within that space. And then we also look at the different themes of impact as well. So the first day is really to set you up, laying the groundwork for the rest of the week. And then on the Tuesday, then we start looking about how you can actually develop impact investing strategy. What are some of the best practices? And then also looking at innovative finance and the different innovative finance tools you can use to start allocating capital to social and environmental impact. In the afternoon, we look at catalytic capital. And yeah, that's just it's a really important session, especially in Africa, where we're looking at how we can unlock more capital for the continent, especially in an environment where there's a perceived higher risk or disproportionate risk, and trying to see how we can then enable more impact investors to come into the space. And catalytic capital also plays an important role in blended finance, which is also one of the things we talk about in the innovative finance sessions. On the Wednesday, we then talk about impact investing portfolios and how do you build it, and look at how you create an impact fund and what are some of the things you need to think about along that journey. In the afternoon, we start looking at key thematic areas within impact investing, looking at gender lens investing, and we get a few amazing speakers in to come speak about that. And then we will also look at SMME finance as a key theme. On Thursday is IMM Day, which is Impact Measurements Management Day, which is also a crucial part of impact investing. So in the morning, we look at fundamentals. Then going into mid-morning, we're looking at what are some of the standards and tools that are currently out there. And then we almost do like a discussion where we're going to get a guest speaker in and do like a discussion with that speaker around IMM. What are the things that have been seen in the ecosystem and what are the things to look out for? And then we're going to look at health finance as the next key theme. And then we'll have the impact weighted account session, which is going to be an incredible session. We get in guest speakers in. So this was initially spun out of Harvard University as a way to provide impact reporting within your accounting kind of frameworks and that. So it's really going to be an interesting session as well. And then we also look at climate finance as a key theme. The last day, we touch on technology, particularly looking at blockchain and see how we can develop the impact ecosystem. And then we do group presentations. So throughout the week, you'll see in the afternoons, there's breakout learning groups where you actually get together in groups and then you go along this journey of finding a problem which you're going to look at within the impact investing space, or developmental challenge, and you start building towards creating a fund or an instrument or mechanism to actually solve for that problem. And then you present that on the last day to your class, which is like a combination of all the stuff you've learned during the week. And yeah, just providing that bit of practical element to the course. And then we have a closing guest speaker, and then we'll have just a thank you and prize giving at the end of that. So that's the timetable for the week. It's quite action-packed. I would say a lot of these also involves some key guest speakers and that, so that's also something to look forward to. And so I'm going to stop there, and I'm hoping at this stage everyone is on the website and getting ready to click apply, because I'm now going to hand over to Taryn, who's going to show you exactly how to apply and walk through that process. So over to you, Taryn.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jason. Hi, everyone. Welcome again. It's good to have you on board. We thought it would be a really great idea to just walk you through what to expect when you are ready to submit your application. So I'm going to share my screen. How to apply. You have to navigate your way to the actual course webpage, and Shaluba has dropped that link in the chat for us. You will get to the course webpage, and the apply button is on the right-hand side over here. So once you click apply, a pop-up form will appear, and from there, once you've completed the pop-up form, it's going to take you to your actual unique application link page. So let me just have a look here, if I can get all our beautiful faces away on the screen. There we go. All right, so you will have your unique application link, and it's a whole lot of writing that you can basically ignore. It's just telling you to, keep your application link safe. It's yours, and you would navigate all the way to the bottom where it says number 1, start your journey with UCT GSB. So you have to actually click on the wording, and once you've clicked on the wording, you'll be able to then go to the first part of the application form. So this online application form consists of 5 parts. So the first part will be your personal data. Your second part will be employment information. Your third part will be your billing information. And then there's a section where you have to upload documents. And then from there, it's a statement of integrity. So on your first section, this is your personal information, your title, surname, name. This is very important. I see some very interesting nicknames that have come up over the time. What you put in here has to correlate or sync with what your ID or passport is in your upload. Why it's important is because that will be reflecting on your actual certificate for the course. So you do have to take care to input correct information with your name and your surname. From there, we ask about disability and dietary requirements. So this is to assist the team, particularly your program coordinator. If you have any dietary requirements, because we do cater during the week, as Jason mentioned, as well as to support if you do have a disability, because we do practice inclusivity, and as far as possible, we will support you. From there, accurate information, contact information. Again, this is important as well, particularly your email address. The reason for that is, of course, we have to be able to reach you. And then secondly, we do enroll you onto our learning management system. So it's called UCT GSB Online. And we have to have a valid email address in order for you to be able to access that system where all the coursework is put on and everything that is prepared from the convening team. So from there, your delivery address. So this is, for whatever reason, if there was a mistake on your certificate, for example, we would then be able to reprint your certificate and courier it to wherever we need to courier it with the address that you've input over here. And then this is also important for the finance aspect of it. Previously, we used to, post our invoices and so forth, and you'll be surprised that in some instances that is still the case. So we do need a valid physical address for you. And then citizenship status, this is in conjunction with your personal information, such as your citizenship, as well as your primary nationality. There are many that have dual nationality, and so we do require this information. All right, so that's section 1. Section 2, so this will be your employment information. So this is just a little bit about where you are at the moment. So that is your full-time years of work experience, as well as managerial capacity work experience, if any, and then just your current state of employment, or where you are employed, or which organization you are employed. From there is your billing section. So over here at the drop-down, you are asked who is responsible for the course fee. And you have 2 options. The one is person, which simply means yourself, and the other one is your company. If it's yourself, that's pretty simple. You would just input the information about yourself. If it's your company, this is a little bit more of a complicated step, because often the information required is not something that you would have on hand. So I wanted to highlight that if your company is paying, it's really important that you have the correct information. We need it for auditing purposes, as well as most likely your accounting team in your organization. So you have to input your company name, the company VAT number. If your company is not VAT registered, or it's an MPO that doesn't need a VAT number, or a government entity that doesn't have a VAT number, you would need to state that. So either not applicable in there, but we do need we need an answer in that section. From there, the account contact information cannot be yourself. We do need an alternative billing contact detail, preferably somebody who is directly facilitating payment for the course, whether that's a finance administrator, or your HR business partner, or your manager, perhaps that's approved this for you. But there needs to be an alternative billing contact person, and we would need that name, surname, email, as well as contact number. And then from there, billing address of the company needs to go in there. So this is really important because from a finance administrative perspective, we have to create your tax invoice, and likewise your company requires a tax invoice with accurate billing details. All right. Then on the 4th part of the application page or application form, you will be required to upload supporting documents of your application. So those supporting documents are your CV, so your curriculum vitae, as well as a copy of your ID or passport. So again, for ID and passport, this is for verification of your name. It's tied to what we have to state on the certificate to issue, as well as for verification purposes. Many years down the line, suddenly you will need to be able to prove that this is a course that you've done, and you now have to call UCT records, and we have to be able to locate your certificate through your ID or passport details that were provided. From there, your CV is needed, because our convener panel actually has a look at your CV and reviews your CV to make sure that you are the right fit, and vice versa. If we see perhaps this is not really a course that may align with what we see on your CV, we will engage with you to perhaps write a motivation, or even maybe just chat to you and see if this aligns with your goals for your career. So there is a step after your application, once you've submitted, where your CV is actually reviewed. And then from there, the outcome of your application is communicated to you. And then from there, we would go forth with your finance administration for the course. All right. Then lastly, the final step to submitting your application for the course is a statement of integrity. So this is just to state that the information that you've provided is true, it's correct, and we can move forward with the information that you have provided. And you would click on your name, it populates automatically the date, and you have committed to completing your application. So once you have submitted your application form, we click submit, and you will get an email that states you have successfully received or successfully applied for the course. Okay. Do you have the application link? Yes, we can drop it back in the chat. So it's the course webpage URL, and on that course webpage URL, you would click on the apply button for the course. Sorry, I just saw that question in the chat.
No problem. Thanks, Taryn. And yeah, please feel free to put your questions in the chat. Yeah, we will cover them very soon. But before then, I'm just going to hand over to Shaluba, my fellow course convener, who's also one of our incredible success stories in terms of alumni. And so it's such a privilege to have her on the course with us, sharing her knowledge and that as well. But she's going to also introduce Maluta, who was also on the course and is doing incredible work. So over to you, Shaluba.
Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate it. And I think great work by you and Taryn. My apologies for my voice. Yeah, I've got the honor to introduce Maluta, who was on the course last year. Maluta was one of the students who came into the course and is such an exemplary student or participant from the course in that following some of the learnings he learned in that week, he then was able to implement a really exciting and interesting opportunity in his current employment or at his employer. I think Maluta will go into more detail. He also set up a community, a Joburg hub, if you will, which is an alumni group that has emanated from the class from last year. So we just asked Maluta to come on to share maybe a very independent view of the program, but also how to implement some of the learnings from the course into some of the work that different people could be doing. So I'll hand over to Maluta. Maluta, please go ahead. Thanks.
Thanks, Shuluba. Yeah, correct you there. It's a branch, Shuluba. It's a branch, not a hub.
Thanks.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Maluta Nechaulu here. I work at Nedbank under the CSI unit. Experience is commercial banking. I'm an cultural economist by training. So I moved to CSI because I thought my experience and expertise will be well placed here, to develop and build the capacity that's required in the SME financing space. So my day-to-day job is around looking at ways in which we can really accelerate the development of SMEs, especially within the green SME ecosystem, or if you can put it that way. So we've got a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of funding. We've got funding that we get like 1% from profit after tax, plus we also have some endowment funds that we utilize the dividends from that to be able to, inject capital into SMEs. And the capital that we invest is mainly grant funding, and only recently we've moved into the concessionary funding space. So this course is something that I wanted to be part of, to be honest, for a while now, but I couldn't because my previous boss didn't see value in it. So I sort of just was patient because I was like, I can't fund this from my own pocket because the course I can, but there's accommodation, there's flights, it can knock someone's out financially, to be honest. But once I got the opportunity to be part of it, I went for it with my current boss. Is very much pro education and learning and taking part in initiatives such as this. So I sort of jumped into it, and then I was part of it. It was quite interesting. I think when you look at impact investing, everyone, when they look at that word or that statement, that name, you, especially when you are coming from the development space, you think, I'm an impact investor, and then you quickly find out first day. I mean, the cost convener, they don't even waste time. They quickly debunk that. And like, no, you are not. you know, telling you about the financial return and the social return side of things. But I think for me, I mean, it's something that I find very useful because you learn quite a lot. There's a lot of networking in there, and most of the guys that I met in the course, I still keep in contact with. We sort of meet regularly, and we sort of bounce off ideas as well. Yeah, so there's quite interesting, and there's caliber of speakers as well. I think from the conveners as well, very well spoken. I mean, very experienced, and knowledgeable as well in the space. Um, and then you've got guys like Frank. Then you've got people like Manka, and then you've got Pumlani. You've got a lot of guys in there that to this day I still talk to. Pumlani through Ellen Gray and all those and the stuff that he does. We're actually in the process of doing something together as well, in that space. So there's a lot of benefit that you sort of derive from the course, just being part of the course from the networking perspective. And then obviously there's the course content. It's quite jam-packed as you saw. But I wouldn't say it's very difficult to absorb because I was able to do that and still have a nightlife,
I don't know if it's just me, but I think Maluta's audio just cut.
It did, yeah. I think we've
Yeah,
lost
I'll quickly buzz him if that's okay. But in the meantime, maybe if there are any questions and answers, we can start getting into that in the interim.
I see there was one, maybe for you, Taryn. It says, is there a separate application and registration fee? Oh, I see you have answered in the chat, but maybe you want to expand verbally for those that haven't seen the chat.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Jason, and thank you so much, Sianda, for asking the question. So a resounding
I'm back.
no. Thanks, Maluta. A resounding no, there is no separate application and registration fee. So the course fee that is stated, that is the course price, which is inclusive of any registration and application admin fees that may apply.
Great,
Thanks.
thanks.
Thanks, sir.
Back to you,
Mal-
Shilubem.
No, I think just
So-
back to
so the-
Maluta. Maluta, we lost you for a second. Yeah, while
Where?
you're talking
I don't know
about
what happened.
when you're talking about the very vibrant nightlife, you're still able to
Oh.
maintain, even though it was a very jam-packed course.
Oh yes, that was yeah. I'm what they call a busybody. But it was quite nice because you are able to concentrate during the day, get through the course material, and then also network at the same time. And then obviously there's activities that one needs to do post the coursework during the day. They've got quite a nice platform, if I can put it that way, where all the course content is in there, where they'll give you activities in terms of what you must do or prepare for the next day, as well as to reflect in terms of what happened during the day. And then it also helps you in terms of where you are from a completion perspective, so progress thing that shows there. But I was also saying that what I liked, especially for someone who is in the SME space and where we've got a lot of risk capital that we can deploy annually, one is only limited by their knowledge, sometimes also imagination and all that. But being in the course, it sort of opened up my world in terms of what is possible, in terms of innovative finance, all that stuff, the different blending of finance, recoverable grants, forgivable grants, all those things, which I find very interesting, especially in the SME space, because you want to be able to support guys, build the capacity that's required, help them to accelerate so that you can unlock other funding Sometimes you need to sort of stack different types of funding, where you can have something that de-risks and then something that comes in that that maybe you are able to put in there to help the guys to accelerate, or even to crowd in other guys as well. So I was able to post there that course, and immediately, for that matter, I didn't take time, right? Be able to put 2 funds actually, I think not same year, within a space of 12 months or 6 months, actually, 6 months, because we launched the first fund with one of the ESOs, Fetula, last year, December. And then a few months ago, we launched the second fund with Indalo Inclusive. The first fund was to address the inefficiency, both of them, the inefficiencies of the SME ecosystem, where the first fund was looking between early stage and growth stage. There's a sort of a gap where the SMEs get stuck, even to unlock concessionary funding. So we put sort of something there that is able to help them. Where, for example, the requirement is that you need to have a turnover of R1 million or whatever the case might be, and you must have been operating for maybe 3 years, and you find that these guys have graduated from an ESO program, and that program was 18 months. So what must happen? So you need to be able to have something that's able to help them, to give them what they require, and then be able to unlock that funding. And then if I can just show it in a form of I always start sharing thing. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out again. Where do I say share? Okay, share. So yeah, I think this is showing here. So what we did, or what I did, post this course, was able to sort of put 2 funds together, launch 2 funds, to solve in terms of what is the the challenges across the whole value chain, in terms of SME life cycle. Because for me is that if the guys get stuck into this side of the world, then I'm not doing my job. I need to be able to get them into this space where there's more capital, more all this thing, to be able to scale the work that they're doing. So I operate in this space strictly, right? So I need to be able to make sure that this space sort of moves along. The guys in this space are able to move along, and then they're able to get into this space. Because the opportunity cost is that if they stay in this space for too long, then I'm not going to be able to get to as many SMEs in this space as possible. So this one was launched first, and then this one we did it the second one. But this is the most innovative one, because we sort of I borrowed from, or used the stuff that I learned in the course to be able to launch this fund, where we're trying to solve around things where guys are not really investor ready for a bank to consider, but they've got, proven business model. They've started to trade, they're like post-revenue type of guys, and they just need capital, and as well as mentorship and all that, to be able to get them there. And then, but to be able to do that, you also need to introduce them to debt funding, concessionary, and a bit flexible, so that they can start having the track record that a commercial bank would want to say that, to prove the whole hypothesis that we are able to pay. We might be green, we might be social, we might be all these things, but we can still pay. We can still pay. We are a good business. So we introduced that, and then we said, it's going to be interest-free loans, and then we also going to do it according to your cash flow, and then over 3 years. And then we said, so it's going to be a grant, but it's going to be recoverable. But there's a portion of it that if you outperform your KPIs, like for example, if you say, because what we do, we put KPIs and all these things together, because sometimes we don't really, we want to be able to track the impact, right? We say, okay, you need to sort of show financial impact, social impact, environmental impact, as well as economic impact in terms of jobs and all that. So if you have a KPI on jobs where you said, I'm going to create 10 jobs. But then you come back after maybe a few months, and then when it's reporting time, we want to understand what's happening during the M&E process, and you say, I've actually created 15 or 20. Then because you've created so much value in terms of the work that you've done in the ecosystem, then we're able to sort of convert that into a grant, right? And then it sort of helps. It becomes almost like a blended thing, where the other part we can still bring back and recycle and then get to more people. But the other part we say we can forgive that. It's almost like if you went to school through NSFAS, and you were doing well, and then you passed, you doing excellent. Well, what happens is that they are able to say to convert it, right? To convert that loan. So it's almost the same principle, but for SMEs. So we're trying to make sure that these SMEs are able to sort of give them the leg up. We are able to also incentivize them to do well, to add value into the ecosystem, to be socially conscious, to be environmentally conscious, but then also trying to prove our hypothesis through them that these guys are financially viable, they're ecologically sustainable, etc., etc. Then what we want to do, because we're also very data driven, we've got a team of data analysts as well that help in terms of our impact reporting. We use the methodology of social return on investment. We want to be able to go to the commercial guys and say, hey, look what we've done. You're always saying these guys are not profitable, they don't have 1, 2, 3, all these things, but look what we've done, so that we are able to also convince the whole bank, where they're only looking at financial return. Guy comes and say, I want 10 million, I want to buy a property, I want to buy a farm, I want to buy a truck, whatever the case might be. They're interested in getting the money back. They need to prove, they're interested in the financial payment ability, and they also obviously the equity in terms of what is your financial position, and then in the recourse that you can pay, where is that? So yeah. So that's what I've done, to be honest, since the course, and the vision there is that how do we scale this, and then how do we also introduce new mechanisms and instruments that will then be able to do this? How do we bring in other partners as well? Because it's not something that we can do on our own. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there, and then if there's any questions, then that will be nice. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, no, I think thank you so much, Melita, for that extensive overview around how you're able to convert some of the learnings from the course into this really exciting recoverable grant program that you offer to SMMEs within Nedbank. So thank you so much for your time, but also sharing on how you've been able to build community post the course, but also really practically use some of the learnings and the insights from the course. So I think now I'll hand back over to Jason to lead with the Q&A.
Great. Thanks, Shudaba. Thanks, Melita. Yeah, it's incredible. Like, I couldn't have said it better, just in terms of what the course can offer and provide to delegates. And us as course conveners, like, it just makes us really excited to hear that in running the course, this is some of the impact that has been had by our delegates. So well done as well to you, and incredible. So glad to have played even a small part in that.
Thanks, Jason.
So just going to open the floor to any questions. Yeah, if you want to raise your hand, feel free to do so. If you've got questions about the course, whether it be logistical questions, yeah, anything. And if there's questions for Melita as well, feel free as well. Okay, I think also good if there's no questions, then I think we have provided
okay.
a good. Is there a question?
No, I saw Taryn put something in the chat. I thought that was a question. Okay.
Question.
We
Yeah,
can give it
just
5 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, no, definitely give time. But yeah, I think also again, thank you all for joining, and yeah, just look forward to seeing you on the course as well. I think it's really exciting, and we are looking forward to it. It's really a big part of the year for us as Bertha Centre in actually running the course, and a lot of preparation and planning and work goes into it. So got a question from Edzai.
It's I.
Sure. Thanks, Jason. I want to find out in terms of the payment, is it due on Monday, or how does it work in terms of payment wise? Thank you.
Thanks, Edzai. I'm gonna hand over to Taryn to provide insights on the invoicing process.
Sure. Thanks so much, Jason. Thanks so much, Itzai. So the payment deadline that is being communicated is the 30th of August. So that's Friday, the 30th of August. So in theory, we do need to see that kind of money in the bank, but we do support delegates when that, as far as we can, when that is not possible. So, for example, if you say, okay, my organization can pay on X date, we can then arrange certain documentation of acknowledgement of debt, for example, just to make sure that we do then eventually secure payment, but so that you can still come onto the course, even though payment is pending. In terms of payment plans, so we don't have payment plans available for the course. The full amount is expected upfront. However, if, let's say, for example, this time around you can't really make it, but you're really interested and you're going to kind of, move forward and commit to this for next year, you can then start already depositing amounts each month and just sending us that proof of payment until you accumulate to the actual course price by the time that the course starts. But there aren't any formal payment plans for the course.
Sure.
And do
Thank
you
you.
maybe want to, thanks so
no.
much, Itzai. Taryn, I was going to ask, can you maybe speak to some of the discounts that are offered on the course?
Sure. So in terms of our discount availability, so we have group discounts. So if an organization is sending either about 3 applicants to 6, we have a 15% discount. And then if the group is bigger than that, there is another 10% discount on the overall amount. If you have studied at a UCT, you are entitled to your alumni discount of 15%. So definitely do make sure that if you do apply, you let us know that you had studied at UCT to get the discount on your course price. And then from there, we also have a masterclass discount. So I know Bertha Centre has been in masterclasses throughout the year, and you will be eligible for a 10% discount if you attend those masterclasses.
Does this count, Taryn, or not really?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sorry, Shaluba?
Please go ahead. No, I was asking if attendance to this counts as a masterclass discount, and then I think Itzai said he had a question as well.
So we can definitely negotiate. I'll drop my contact details in the chat, and you I will see who attended, and we can definitely touch base. It's a follow-up question.
Oh, thank you. So I wanted to find out, like I just finished the application as the presentation was going on. What's the timeline in terms of the decisions for planning sake, so that at least we have enough time to do all the logistical arrangements? Thanks.
Sure. So general SLA or turnaround time is 72 hours, but this course is a priority at the moment. So we're trying to get everything within a 24-hour time frame. So you will hear from me like now, since you told me that you applied. So I will go and look at it and send it off to our faculty, our convener, to review your application. And then we will get feedback and send that communication to you.
Thank you.
Taryn, can you also maybe touch on the process once an application has been received? Then I know there's some background stuff? I know you spoke briefly around the invoicing, but also the offer letter. I don't know if you touched on the offer letter and stuff like that.
Sure. So once you've submitted your application, so it's how you've submitted yours, we'll use you as a case study. What's going to happen now is that I'm going to go into the system and I'm going to share your application with our conveners, and they will review your CV and then communicate to me that all is good. You will then hear from me asking you to respond to a system mailer. That system mailer is your offer letter email, which is basically stating that you've been accepted onto the course. It's happening on X date. Please click here just to say, yes, you've understood the terms and conditions, which is the payment terms and conditions, and just making sure that you have, basically it's a double statement of integrity. So all the particulars that you've had in your application, especially for billing contact, physical address, contact number, all of that will be in that offer letter email. And just letting you know that we are now going to move forward with the processing of your invoice. So that offer letter email is pretty much just acknowledging that you are taking your space up on the course. Thanks, Shaluba. I think that, yeah, it's quite an important part. So you will receive an offer letter once your CV has been reviewed and you've been accepted onto the course.
Some great,
Jason.
thanks. Yeah, really excited, Edza, that you have put in your application, and yeah, look forward to yeah, reviewing it and then hopefully seeing you on the course really soon as well. I do note we've got a few minutes left, so still welcome any questions. So we can maybe wait 1 or 2 minutes to see if there's anything that comes up.
And for the ones maybe that joined the course, curious if this session was insightful, helpful, you know, did it help you similar to Edzai to make a decision of whether you do want to attend or not? Yeah, I think we can almost have it as a very casual discussion around, just so it also gives us insights around how to structure future information sessions around this program.
Yeah, please, like, I mean, we really want to make this as informative and helpful as possible. So if you did find it that way, please do let us know. And we also welcome any suggestions.
Sure. Tembelani, we see your hi in the chat. I don't know if you were keen to quickly jump on. Oh, okay.
Sure,
Perfect.
please
Thanks.
do by email. You're welcome to send through. And I'll put my email also in the chat as well, just in case you want to reach out to me as well to learn more about the course itself.
Zandile, Joe, Lerato, Sianda, Award, anything you guys would like to clarify? Is everything clear from this info session?
Hi, Shaluba, Zandi here.
Oh, hi,
No, everything is clear. Thank you so much. I think I spoke to Taryn just to get a confirmation, proof of payment, because my organization did pay. So I just wanted confirmation because I did not receive it. But yeah, everything is in order. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. We look forward to having you on the course then.
Likewise. Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Shaluba.
Pleasure. Lerato, we see your note that everything is clear. Thank you. Tembelani, Zianda, Edward. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Shaluba, hi, this is yours. That's how you pronounce it.
Oh,
I
is
just
it?
wanted to
Okay,
ask you,
great.
yeah, if one does come to South Africa, presumably accommodation is not catered for. So you book your own accommodation, or is there a chance to stay on the campus if possible? I mean, of course, paying for it, but what's the accommodation arrangements like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know,
sure.
Jason, if you want to address.
Yeah, sure. We have, it's quite great. Like at the GSB, there is a hotel really. It's kind of a strange setup when you come to the GSB. You can see it's almost like you have lecture rooms and hotel rooms in amongst each other. So if you do book via Breakwater Lodge at the GSP, it's really good accommodation, and there won't be any need really to transport to the lecture venue, and that you can really just walk through the corridors and you would come to the lecture venue. And with that, you are also able to get preferential rates at the Breakwater Lodge Hotel and that. So I'm able to share that with you as well. If you can, you're welcome to reach out to me via email and I can share with you the rates for the hotel.
Yeah. The other thing is once you are registered on the course, you do get an information pack. And in the pack, there is a listing of different hotels that are available. And I think for most of those, we do have preferential rates. So that might be interesting for you. And then depending on the budget you have for accommodation, I think there are many other options. I think where the GSB is situated is right by the waterfront, and so there's many other different options, including Airbnb and other accommodation options that might be suitable for your preference.
Thank you. Just one other question. You said you do run the course in Nairobi as well. I just want to find out how often do you run it in Nairobi and how often do you run it in Cape Town?
Sure. So Nairobi would be the first iteration of the course. So for the past 8 years, the course has been running just solely in Cape Town. We usually run it once a year in Cape Town. And then Nairobi, we are scheduled, I think it's between the 11th and the 15th of November this year. It will be the first time that we are running it in Nairobi. So yeah, we're really excited and looking forward to being in Kenya.
Right, thank you.
Tembelani.
Yeah, no, thanks, Shulwe. I joined quite late, so I only caught the tail end of the presentations. I will not hold you guys. I will do the recording.
Okay.
And if I have questions, I will inbox you guys on emails you provided. Where do I access the recording? How can I access that?
So what we'll do is we'll send up kind of a wrap-up mailer after this with the link to the recording, but it'll also be published on our YouTube channel, the Bertha Centre YouTube channel, which you'll be able to access the recording there as well.
Stunning. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mbelane.
Hi, Jason. Sorry, Zandi here again. Shuluwa, you mentioned the pack, the welcome pack. I did not receive that. And I made a payment like 2-3 months ago.
Oh, I do know it was being finalized this week, so you should probably get it by end of the week. Yeah.
Okay,
We
cool.
just as the course conveners, we're making sure it is covering all the information we think people who are coming to Cape Town need to have. So yeah, we'll make sure you get that as well.
All right. No, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you'll definitely
that.
get it before the course kicks off. Huh? Yeah.
All right. All good.
Well, before
Thank
the
you.
course. Thanks, Sandy.
Thanks,
Sandile,
Sandile.
sorry.
So I will just check with Lebo Zandile because I know that you were in communication with him. So definitely, I mean, I know that your proof of payment was received. And then the information pack, like Shaliba mentioned, it was finalized this week. And we're just trying to figure out the best time to send it to all that have paid. And you'll receive that info back from the program coordinator, Anne. But definitely, I'll just reach out to you again and just remind Lubo to keep open communication.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Taryn.
Awesome. Thanks, Andile.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see it is gone 1 minute past 5. So I think let's end it there for this evening. Big thank you for all that joined. And yeah, thank you as well to Maluta for sharing. It was really incredible to have you part of this session. And yeah, all the best. Have a good evening, everyone, and feel free to reach out.